We'll go ahead and start in our seated position. Just coming into a straight aligned spine. Doesn't matter if the legs are crossed or extended or tucked underneath you. Just kind of feel your way into a comfortable, steady seat. We make sure our head feels balanced on top of our spine. Let's just start with a deep breath in through the nose and a big exhale through the mouth. Just kind of take a moment to close the eyes and really tune in to how your body is feeling this morning. And of course, we notice everything. We're not looking for what's wrong. We're also looking for what's right, what feels good so far, and what needs our attention. And then we'll start breathing our Ujjayi breath all through the nose if possible, restricting the throat enough that you hear that kind of whisper sigh sound. And then just notice what your thought processes are like this morning. Notice any emotions that you're feeling. Notice what your energy feels like. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Pause and set your own personal intention for your practice this morning. When you're clear on it, take a deeper inhale. Exhale through your mouth. Relax your arms, roll your shoulders back. And for the rest of practice, if possible, do that nice slow Ujjayi breath through the nose only. Let's go ahead and come to standing at the front of the mat. So we get connected downward through the soles of our feet so that we can rise up through the crown of our head. Coming to mountain pose, just finding standing alignment, standing balance, standing strength. Palms together in front of the heart. Big inhale, reach your arms up and just spread your fingers and stretch. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, relax your neck, and fold forward. So we're just hanging for a couple of breaths in ragdoll. We're keeping our knees bent initially because we don't want to feel the hamstrings here. We want to feel our low back and mid back lengthening. Even your neck will lengthen if you totally relax your head. Let's go one more breath here. And then we're going to come all the way back up. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Stretch up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Fingertips all the way down to the mat and keep them there. Even if you need to bend your knees, look up and lengthen the spine forward. So if you have to bend your knees more to do this, do it. Don't slide the hands up. Yoga is a grounding practice. You have to stay connected. So keep your fingertips on the ground as you lengthen in a half forward bend. And then as you exhale, full forward bend. And it's okay if the knees are slightly bent here. We're going to go ahead and step back with our left foot. So we have a right foot forward lunge. Just kind of allowing the hips to drop a little bit here. Try and keep the spine lengthened. Just kind of play with what's going on in the hamstrings and the hips. And then keep your left hand planted and take your right hand up towards the ceiling. We'll bring the right hand down Drop the left knee, sweep both arms up and overhead, tuck your tailbone under, lift your heart, let the hips move forward until you feel a stretch on the front of your left hip. On your next exhale, if it feels okay, you're just going to rotate open to the right, arms open out like a T. Bring both hands down on either side of that right foot, gaze forward for a straight, flat back, and begin to extend your right leg. So we're going to be doing a little bit of work with hamstrings today. Yay. So this is kind of your first foray into how the right hammy is doing this morning. So we're just kind of refining our stretch a little bit as much as possible. We want the right leg straight. We want the toes and the ankle dorsiflex. And then we want to make sure that we're not squeezing our shoulders by our ears or rounding forward. Shoulders come down the back. Tailbone pokes back, but heart pulls forward. That changes things. It's that meticulous attention to detail that will give you so much more out of your practice. Take one more breath here. And then let's go ahead and step back into plank position. And just hold your plank for a couple of breaths. We want to wake the core up. Remember, you can modify vinyasas however you need to. That might include just resting in child's pose. For this morning, we'll modify the first one, and then after that, we'll see what happens. You can do your own thing, of course. But on an exhale, go ahead and drop down, knees, chest, and chin. And then let's go ahead and untuck the toes. Bring the arms out in front and lengthen ourselves in Sphinx. So when we're working the hamstrings or the backs of the legs, a lot of things come into play, the whole back chain of the body. So the glutes need to relax, the spine needs to lengthen. And so you're doing both of those here. Let your buns be soft. Pull your heart forward to lengthen the low back. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and take your first down dog. And as you move into this first downward facing dog, feel free to pedal your feet a little bit. You're just kind of easing into the whole thing here. And once you've moved a little bit, try and find some stillness. Big step forward with the left foot. Hold your lunge. And then we'll keep the right hand planted and rotate that left hand up towards the ceiling. Try and keep your spine straight here. Let's go ahead and bring our left hand down. Drop your right knee down. Bring the arms up and overhead as you tilt your pelvis back and let the hips move forward. And then on your next exhale, just rotate open to the left a little bit. Arms are out like a T. Hands come down either side of the left foot, gazing forward. You begin to straighten that left leg. So just like we did on the other side, you want to try and be mindful of course, how your body is feeling, but also mindful of your alignment. So left leg as straight as possible, ankle and toes flexed, heart pulling forward, shoulders relaxing down the back. You might even notice what's going on with your hips. You might want to try and pull that left hip back and right hip forward a little bit. And then bend your left knee, step forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Remember, keep your hands on the ground, and then exhale and fold forward. You're going to step back this time with your right leg. So you have a left foot forward lunge. Hold your lunge for a moment. Just like we did our first time through, we're going to take the left hand up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to bring the left hand down inside the left foot, spin the right heel flat, and take the right hand up towards the ceiling. So it's like a nice deep side angle here. Bring your right hand back down and swivel back onto the right toes. See if you can come onto the right forearm, perhaps both. Remember, you may drop your right knee down if you need to. If you've got both forearms down, gaze forward to lengthen the spine. And if your right forearm is down, one more time, let's rotate that left hand up towards the ceiling. Left hand comes down, we come back up onto the right hand, step it back to plank as you inhale. Lower down your way as you exhale. Upward facing dog or cobra on your inhale. Downward facing dog on your exhale, and just lengthen. It's a good time to reconnect to your Ujjayi breathing if you've lost connection to that. And then we'll take a big step forward with the right foot. Just coming into that right foot forward lunge. Left hand stays planted, right hand reaches for the ceiling. And we're going to bring the right hand down inside the right foot. Spin the left heel flat. Take the left hand to the ceiling. Deep side angle. Bring your left hand down, swivel back onto the left toes. See if you can get your left forearm down. Perhaps both of them. Remember, it's okay to modify and drop your left knee. Try and keep your back flat if possible. Gazing forward helps with that. And then if your left forearm is down, let's go ahead and take right hand to the ceiling again. Right hand comes down, left hand comes back up. We step forward to our standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. So you can either walk or jump back to plank. Let's take a vinyasa. Just stretch it out for a moment. And then we're going to step the right foot forward, spin our left foot flat, and come up into warrior two. So remembering your alignment cues, you want your right knee to track over your second toe if possible. Let's go ahead and reverse our warrior. Left hand on left thigh, right arm up and over. Keep the right knee bent. You want to maintain that knee alignment, so your right knee should be slightly pressing towards the little toe. Come on back up. Take your right hand down inside the right foot or ankle again. You've already been here once today. Left hand reaches for the ceiling, and then on an exhale, take it overhead and extend your side angle. Come all the way back up into your warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Kick that left hip out to the left as you lengthen your rib cage to the right and find triangle this morning, wherever that is for you. Be particularly mindful of straight legs and lots of length on the right side of your spine. Now you're gonna just bring that left hand down, lengthen out over your right leg for a moment, stretch. And then step back to plank, take your vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, left foot forward, right foot spins flat, warrior two. Make sure your left knee is aligned, legs are engaged, everything feels strong and steady, including your breath. Right hand onto the right thigh, left arm up and over, reverse your warrior. Keep that left outer hip engaged. Come on up from that. Take your left hand down inside your left foot, right hand up to the ceiling, and then on an exhale, extend your side angle. Take the right arm overhead. Come all the way back up into your warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Kick those hips to the right, lengthen your rib cage to the left. And now we're finding triangle again. Remember, align yourself over your left leg. Both legs should be straight. Left side of the spine should be long. Right hand comes down. We're just going to take a few breaths, lengthening out over our right leg. From here, step forward to a standing forward bend. And what I'd like for you to do is humor me on this one. Bring your feet all the way together. Bend your knees and reach behind your knees and clasp your elbows or upper arms. This is gonna hug your torso to your thighs. Once you get that, look up. So it's like your back is very flat. I want you to keep looking up and keep hugging tightly with your arms as you begin to straighten your legs. They may not go all the way straight. Keep looking up, keep the back lengthening. You should really feel this in your hamstrings. Take 2 more breaths. Don't let your torso come away from your thighs. Don't let the back round. Release the hands down, relax your neck. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, back down. You may either walk or jump back to plank, flow through a vinyasa. Lengthen your down dog. So this time we're gonna step forward with our right foot, spin the left heel flat, and come up into warrior one. So as much as possible, those hips are squared off at the front of the mat. You have a couple of options for arm positions. You're going to either bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and squeeze shoulder blades together, or actually reach back and clasp your elbows. Or if you have the flexibility, you can do reverse prayer, reverse namaste. So you choose what arm position makes you happy this morning, but keep your shoulder blades squeezed together and your heart lifted. And then I'd like you to extend your right leg. So you're straightening your right leg. Keep your right hip pulled back, left hip forward, spine lengthening as you extend out over your straight right leg. So this is Parsvottanasana. Don't bend the right knee and don't round your back. You should be feeling a fairly exciting stretch in your right hamstring. Now from here, I want you to keep the spine lengthened, but you're gonna bring your left hand down onto your right shin or foot or outside of it. Don't put, sorry, this is your left hand. Don't put your left hand on the mat inside the foot. That's a total cheat. It's better to have the hand higher up the shin. This is a balancing pose. Revolved triangle is a balancing pose. So find where your left hand needs to be. Right leg stays straight, right hip pulls back, spine stays lengthened. And this morning, I'd like you to start with your right hand at your waist. The torso twists and revolves. Once you feel like your right shoulder is vertically stacked over your left, then you take your right hand to the ceiling. Bring your right hand back down. Now you can take your left hand inside that right foot. Just take a moment here. We're going to transition this into a revolved half moon. You're standing on your right foot, so go ahead and bend your right knee. Slide your left hand torso distance forward of your right foot. Start to lift off, taking left leg straight behind you into the air, and as much as possible, keeping torso long. And beginning to revolve that right hand up towards the ceiling. Bring the right hand down. Bring your left foot down beside your right foot. You can walk your hands back for a standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale and look up halfway. And then back down. Walk or jump back to plank and flow through your vinyasa. Hamstrings should be feeling a little different. If you pay attention in this down dog to what your first one felt like versus right now, your hamstrings should be feeling considerably more pliable. So we're going to step the left foot forward. Right foot spins flat. We're coming up into warrior one. Finding all those alignment cues. Left shin vertical, hips squaring off at the front of the mat, all that good stuff. And then whatever arm position you want to do, either interlacing fingers behind the back or grabbing the elbows or even doing reverse prayer. Straighten your left leg. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. We don't want to round the back here. Keep your right hip pulling forward, left hip back. Lengthen out over a very straight left leg. So Parsvottanasana actually translates as intense Western stretch. The back side of your body is the Western side of your body. Continue leaning forward, but release your hands. Your right hand goes on the foot, on the shin or outside the foot, or it can be on a block, but it would have to be outside your left foot. Don't go to the inside. Lengthen your spine. Keep your left leg straight. Left hand at the waist as you begin to revolve. Once you feel like you've rotated and gotten left shoulder vertically stacked on top of right, take your left hand to the ceiling. So from revolved triangle, bring your left hand back down. Go ahead and bend your left knee. We're gonna slide the right hand, torso distance in front of left foot. And yes, there's a little bit of width between the two. Begin to lift off. Left leg straightens, right leg extends behind you. We're gonna rotate and take the left hand up towards the ceiling. Revolved half moon. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. Right foot comes down beside left foot, standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up and stretch. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Look up halfway. And back down, step back to plank, flow through your vinyasa. Just take a moment in downward facing dog, feel those legs. So the more you press your hips back and press your heels down, the more you're gonna lengthen the backside of the legs. From here, you're gonna go ahead and either walk or jump forward, standing forward bend, and I'd like you to do what we did before. Bend your knees a little bit, reach behind the knees, clasp the elbows, hug the torso to the thighs, look up, and begin to straighten the legs. Now from here, we're gonna release our hands down to the mat. Your hands can be ever so slightly forward of your feet, but not way out. Please feel free to use blocks here if you need to. I like to use the alignment cue of your thumbs being level with the tips of the toes, because it is a little bit of a balance that we're about to go into. We're gonna stand on our right leg. Begin to extend our left leg behind us. Left leg as straight as you can comfortably get it. Right leg as straight as you can comfortably get it. Now you start lifting that left leg higher, higher, higher. If you're able, only if, your right hand grabs your right heel and you start to pull your torso towards your right shin. Left leg continues to extend up strongly. Right leg tries to stay straight. Keep breathing. Bring your left foot down beside your right foot. Inhale all the way up. Give those legs a break. Exhale, prayer. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. So let's go for those same alignment cues if you can. Thumbs align with toe tips. This time we're standing on the left leg. You begin to extend your right leg behind you. You lift it into the air. As much as possible, you keep your left leg straight. You start raising that right leg up. If you're able, left hand grabs left heel, and you begin to pull your torso towards your left thigh. The right leg continues to raise up, up, up. Right foot comes back down beside left foot. Take a big inhale, raise the arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale and look up halfway. Exhale, back down. Step back to plank and flow through one final vinyasa for today's practice. That means you can linger in any position if you feel like you need to. As you get to your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, you spread your fingers, you plant your palms, you broaden the shoulders, you reach your hips up and back, press them back, and press the heels down, really engage. And then when you're ready, you can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend. Go ahead while you're still bending forward. Take the feet out about the edges of the mat, maybe a little closer, maybe a little wider, depending upon your leg length. Try and keep your toes pointing directly forward. Drop into a yogic squat, wherever that is for you. And then depending upon how close to the floor your backside is, you can either put your hands down and find your way to a seated position, or just put your buns down and extend your legs for Dandasana. So you want to find your sit bones. If you can maintain a straight spine and active legs without using your hands, you can have your hands in prayer or hands on the thighs. But if you need to, use your hands right behind your backside to push into the floor for a really straight spine. We're just going to pause for a moment like we often do. Midpoint check-in. How's the body doing? Are you still connected to your deep Ujjayi breath? How are the thoughts, the emotions, the energy? Can you bring back to mind the intention that you set? And then just go ahead and extend your spine out over both legs. Doesn't matter how far you go. Make sure the shoulders stay down the back. And preferably lengthen your spine here. So think of this almost as the seated version of what we did standing. You want to try and get your torso to your thighs. You want to try and keep shoulders down the back, keep the spine lengthening forward. And then let's come on up from that. Keep your right leg straight. Bring your left foot to the inside of the right thigh. And now just lean out over your right leg. Just stretch. So we'll keep the left knee bent, but for those of you that really want to work a little deeper this morning, and this is all optional, we're going to be doing a heron. Usually I just have you keep your left leg just like it is. And if you have knee issues, you're totally going to keep your left leg just as it is. Only if you have a super happy, healthy left knee are you maybe going to do the more traditional position, which would be like a half Halasana. So you want to take, if you can, your left foot actually comes back right beside your left buttock. Your left buttock has to stay flat. And if you look back, your second toe aligns with your lower leg bones. Now this is only if you're feeling like you want to go totally traditional for heron. Otherwise, that left knee is still out to the side and it's just as normal. You're going to pick a very straight right leg up into the air. Lift your chest. Drop the shoulders, make sure your right leg is straight. Even if you're hanging onto your pants or using a strap, it's fine. And then try and get a little bit of extra hamstring stretch and maybe even flex the ankle and toes. That'll make it exceptionally exciting. Take a couple of breaths here. Now, regardless of how your left leg is, this will be different depending upon which position you've chosen. We're going to keep the left leg as it is. Your right foot is going to come down flat outside the left leg. If your knee is bent back, this looks a little different than if it's on the inside, right? Either way, we're twisting to the right. The right foot stays flat, and you're going to twist to the right. If you did traditional heron with your left leg pointing back, this is a deeper twist. Take a couple of breaths here. Rotate all the way back around, extend both legs out, give them a good wiggle. And then keep your left leg straight. Bring your right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Lengthen out over your left leg and just take a few breaths here. And then again, it's completely up to you. This pose works beautifully if you leave your right leg just like it is. So don't feel like you have to do anything else. Only if you want to play a little deeper, would you bring your right foot back beside your right glute. Both glutes are flat. Second toe aligns with lower leg. And then you're going to just extend your left leg up into the air, hanging on to whatever you can comfortably reach. Try and get the left leg straight. Maybe flex ankle and toes. Keep your chest lifted. So Kramchasana, heron. You want to make sure that you're not hunching and rounding. Take a couple of breaths. And then again, it doesn't matter what you've done with your right leg. Leave it like it is. Your left foot will come flat outside of the right leg. So it just depends on your leg position. And then we're going to twist to the left. Come all the way back around, extend your legs out, give them a nice wiggle. And then before we roll onto our backs, we're gonna go ahead and extend the legs into a wide V. So Upavishta Konasana, wide angled, seated forward bend. Your toes should point up, your feet should be flexed, your inner thighs and your quads, the top of your legs, are very active and contracted. And then you're lengthening your spine forward. So if hips are tight, hands are behind you to keep the spine straight. There's no hunching or rounding. If you want, you can even play with what we did earlier in Parsvottanasana. Interlacing fingers and keeping shoulder blades squeezed is a nice way to keep from cheating. But the idea is that you're just breathing your chest and your torso forward. You're welcome to have your hands on the ground for support or on your legs or feet. You choose, but just make sure you're not rounding the back. We keep the legs very active and we just breathe. A couple more breaths. And then you can just come on up. Use your hands to help bring your legs together. Give them a good wiggle. Awesome. Slowly find your way onto your back. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. And then we're going to keep the right knee hugged in. Extend the left leg all the way out onto the ground. Just hug that right knee for a moment. And then I'd like you to extend your right leg straight up. Now, when I say up, it may not point towards the ceiling. It might point towards the opposite wall. But try and get the leg totally straight if you can, or as close to straight as you can. Foot flexed. Then grab whatever you can reach, keeping the legs straight, and give yourself a nice hamstring stretch. You want to keep trying to push through the back of the knee. Keep the ankle flexed. Take a couple breaths. So here's the cool thing about this when we're not using straps. Wherever your left hand is, even if it's at your thigh, it's in a perfect place to almost act like a tripod. What we're going to do is take our right arm out to the right, straight out, keep our right leg straight, and start to bring that right leg across the body. Now, if your hand is up here on your thigh, that's cool. Your left elbow will hit and hold your leg in place. If your hand is all the way out on your foot, same thing happens. It doesn't really matter. Keep your right shoulder blade flat. You don't want the right side of the arm or shoulder to lift. And you do want to keep your right leg straight and your foot flexed. You'll notice this looks an awful lot like a revolved triangle on your back. Take a couple of breaths. Bring your leg back up, hug your right knee in. And then just point that right knee a little more to the right. Your right arm is going to come inside your right leg. Grab the arch of the right foot and do just the right half of dead bug. That means that your lower leg is vertical, your hand is on the arch of a flexed foot, and you are pulling straight down. You should feel this in your hamstring on the right leg. Take a couple breaths. And then just hug your right knee. Bring the left knee up to meet it. You're welcome to rock side to side. And then extend your right leg all the way out onto the ground. Hug your left knee in. Then we're going to extend the left leg as straight as possible. Once it's straight, you grab whatever you can, your thigh, your calf, your foot. You try and keep your leg really straight and your foot flexed, and you just get yourself this nice final series of hamstring openers on the left side. Take another breath or two here. Wherever your right hand is, even if it's at the thigh, it's perfect. Keep it there. Open your left arm out to the left. Keep your left leg straight. Begin to bring it across the body. So again, your right elbow can hit the ground and act like a tripod if you need it to. Left leg is straight. Left foot is flexed. Left shoulder blade is flat on the ground. And we're breathing. And we should be feeling a lot in the left side. Bring that left leg back up. Hug your knee in. Let the left knee move outside the torso a little bit. Left arm comes inside your left leg. You grab the arch of your left foot, which should be flexed. You get your lower leg vertical, and you pull straight down on it. Trying to keep your tailbone flat till you feel the back of your left thigh. Hug your left knee in. Bring your right knee up to meet it, side to side rock. So I'll give you a choice of two inversions today. It depends on your neck and shoulders and what you're capable of. If you can do Halasana plow pose, that would be my preference for you because it also lengthens the hamstrings if you keep your legs straight. Now, if you've got neck or shoulder issues, plow may not be an option for you. So your modification would be to have your legs relatively straight and start pulling them in towards you. If you need to be a little gentler and more restorative this morning, you're welcome to put your sacrum, your hips up on a block and just stick your legs up in the air. You choose what's best for you. And so if you can do plow, that's where we're headed with the legs up and overhead. Ideally, the legs remain straight. And if the toes hit the floor over your head, then you can release the arms to the mat. If your legs are in the air, Hands on the hips or the back, and you keep the legs straight. Gravity is your friend here. Just take a few slow, deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, just roll on down, hug your knees in. This time we're going to grab the outside edges of the feet and wiggle around in happy baby. Just explore. See if there's anything we missed in all of this hamstring work. See how it's all feeling in there. And then when you're ready, we're going to put feet flat on the mat. Excuse me, ankles and knees together, knees bent. And I want you to just come into awareness of some breath-centered movement. So as you exhale, both knees are going to drop a little bit to the right. As you breathe in, they come back up. As you breathe out, they gently drop in the opposite direction. So now we're just rolling the hips, letting everything kind of settle down. Inhaling, knees are up. Exhaling, they drop the opposite direction. Just keep going with this for a few breaths. When you kind of feel like you're even, or it feels like it's the right time, you'll just let the knees drop open with the soles of the feet together. And then on your next inhale, press your low back into the mat. Just take the curve out of the spine. We always try and lengthen our low back muscles before we move into Shavasana. On your next exhale, release and let the natural arch return to your spine. And then one more time, inhale, press low back into the mat, remove the arch from the back, hold it. Wait for your next exhale and then relax totally again. Begin to extend your legs. Just decide where they need to be today. Feet closer together, feet farther apart. Then make sure the thighs are relaxed, that your glutes are relaxed. Your spine is long, your shoulders are relaxed, your hands are below your heart, palms facing upward. Your neck feels long, your jaw is relaxed, so there's space between the teeth. Your eyes are closed. And I want you to take a huge inhale through your nose. And just sigh it out your mouth, letting go of any remaining tension in the body, letting go of control of the breath, letting go of any need to be anywhere else, doing anything else other than what you're doing right now at this moment. So as you settle in to this most important pose, just take a moment to notice your thought processes. Don't really even pay attention to what you're thinking about. That's so unimportant. Notice how you're thinking. So maybe the thoughts are a little slower, or a little more organized, or even perhaps quieter than they were before. And if not, that's okay too. But we're going to start really watching our thoughts today. And what I'd like for you to watch for is this space between the thoughts. So that means you can't hold on to any thought. And the whole idea is to not initiate any thoughts and yet also not resist any thoughts. We simply allow them to come and go. and we observe. And we look for the space between them. So as a thought comes into your mind, you notice it, you watch it go, and then you're very attentive to that pause before the next thought appears. I want you to really just kind of stay in the pause. If you catch yourself getting involved in a thought, following a thought, getting wrapped up in thoughts, that's okay. Just catch yourself. That's the beauty of it. And then you can let that thought go. Pay attention to the space until the next thought arises. And just take a moment to allow your awareness to move back into your physical body. Notice the level of relaxation that you achieved physically while you were watching your thoughts, observing the pause. And you can start to deepen your breath a little bit more. Start to move the fingers and toes a little bit more. When you're ready, take a deep inhale, spread your fingers and toes, and then exhale through the mouth and relax. Even deeper breath in as you stretch however it feels good to stretch. And again, exhale through the mouth and relax. Take your time bending your knees. You can either have your feet flat on the floor or you can hug your knees in, but just pause. When you're ready, roll to your right side. And then you can use your left hand in front of your chest and press yourself up to sitting. And so as you come to sitting and you find that straight aligned spine, let the shoulders relax, kind of settle back into your skin. And I'm going to have you guys do a similar breath to what we did on Monday, but a considerably more advanced version of it. Your hands can rest on your knees or thighs in whatever position works for you today. Just trust your instincts. We're going to be inhaling through the left nostril, exhaling through the right nostril every breath. It's what we did Monday. Except today you're not allowed to use your hands. And I know the first thought is what? But it's a really interesting phenomenon that you actually can sort of control your breath. So regardless of what position your hands are in, they can be on your knees or thighs, palms up, palms down, mudra, no mudra, it's up to you. You're going to close your eyes Focus your awareness right between the eyebrows. And try and do slow, deep, controlled breaths in through the left nostril, out through the right nostril, every single breath. And just finish off the breath you're on. Let everything relax, including your mind and your thoughts around the process that you just did. And just be aware and observe. And did your mind try to get really involved in that Chandra without your hand? Did you try to analyze or break it down? Did you just roll with it? Just kind of notice that, and don't ever judge the observations. We're very impartial. We're simply watching. Just take a moment to check back in with how you feel. And then let's slowly bring the palms together in front of the heart. So we take a moment in gratitude for this practice. Wow, what would our lives be like in this 21st century without this amazing ancient art and science of yoga? So gratitude for the practice of yoga, gratitude for our practice this morning, gratitude for the body that moves us through the practice, for the breath that animates the body, perhaps most importantly for our awareness of the body, our awareness of the breath, and even that higher awareness of our thoughts. Take one more really deep breath in through your nose. Exhale the happy side through the mouth. Palms to the forehead, just reminding us to be present, to pay attention, to show up for our lives. Palms to the mouth, reminding us to speak our truth. And of course, we have to know what our truth is before we can speak it. And then palms to the heart, reminding us to keep our hearts open. Nothing but an open heart is going to help us progress on our journey. When our hearts are open, we can come from a place of kindness and compassion and love, and that's what it's all about. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. It's always an honor to lead. Namaste.